Coming home to my wife turned into the darkest revenge of my life. I parked outside the house and hesitated. Something felt off. The lights were on, but the soft glow didn't feel like warmth. I checked my phone. No messages, no missed calls. Just silence. Too quiet. The front door was slightly ajar. Not enough to scream danger, just enough to whisper. I stepped inside. "Surprise?" I called softly, trying to sound casual. No answer. A faint sound. Footsteps? No. A laugh. Soft, familiar, but not for me. My stomach tightened. I moved forward, heart measured, breathing steady. The hall smelled of perfume. Her perfume, but sharp, alien, not the one she wore for me. The living room was empty. Shadows danced across the walls. And then I saw it, my wedding photo, face down on the floor, glass shattered around it. The phone buzzed. A text. From her. "You should see who's here. It's a surprise." I froze. Not me. Memories hit me like ice water. Late nights she said she was at work, friends, book club, overlapping errands, always excuses. I'd ignored the small hints, the extra perfume bottle, the mysterious calls she silenced, the glances she gave me that were sharp, calculating. I had wanted to trust. I had to trust. But now the house whispered the truth I had been denying. I picked up the shattered frame. My reflection stared back from the fragments, disjointed, angry, yet calm. Her betrayal wasn't subtle anymore. It was blatant, screaming through the empty room. And the stranger in the house? Her or him? The rational part of me told me to leave, call the police, make a scene. But another part, a colder, sharper part, wanted to see, observe, understand. I wanted proof, not just a suspicion, proof. I left the living room, tracing footsteps toward the kitchen. A bottle of wine tipped over, spilling red across the white tiles. Too deliberate. Someone had tried to make it look casual, playful. I checked her phone later. Locked, of course, but there were patterns I could read. Late messages deleted at odd hours, unknown numbers labeled as work. Work. Always work. I realized the depth of her deception. It wasn't just physical, it was strategic. I didn't panic, not yet. I started planning. I watched, quietly, calculated. I took her phone when she slept. Screen captures, message histories, subtle entries, enough to trace the web she'd spun. Her calendar showed trips, dinners, errands, all lies. I called the hotel she had said she stayed at for a conference. Empty rooms, reservations canceled. Proof. I even went further, subtle surveillance. The man, her companion, he had left a digital footprint she thought I would never notice. Every time she looked at me, she had been calculating, waiting for me to break. I didn't. I kept my face calm, smiled, laughed at her jokes, kissed her cheek in the morning. Every gesture a mask. Inside, my mind was fire. Each clue I collected added to the story, piece by piece. I had become a ghost in my own home, watching, learning, waiting for the moment I would act. The night I gathered all evidence, I felt nothing. No anger, no tears, only clarity. Photos of her with him, screenshots of messages, calendar confirmations. My wife, so smug, so confident she would never be caught. I didn't confront her yet, not here, not now. Instead, I left a sealed envelope on the table, labeled simply, "Everything." She came home hours later. The smile on her face faltered. Her eyes flicked to the envelope. "What's this?" she asked, voice slightly trembling, trying to mask the fear she didn't expect me to see. I stayed calm, sat at the table, sipping my drink. "Proof," I said softly. Her face went pale. I could see the panic. Her hands shook. It's not what it looks like," she stammered. I let her speak, let her weave her lies, but I already knew the truth. Every secret, every betrayal. She realized, slowly, that I had known, all along. I handed her the envelope. Not accusing, not shouting, just placed it calmly in front of her. Her hands hovered over it. She wanted to deny, to destroy, to manipulate. I spoke, quietly, each word precise. "You thought you could hide from me, from us, but I always knew. Every night you whispered his name in your texts. Every excuse you gave, it was recorded. Every smile, every touch, it was documented." She stared. Shock, anger, confusion, fear. "And now," I continued, calm, "you can read it, or you can leave. The choice is yours. But don't ever try to deceive me again." She broke, finally, collapsed into her chair, silent tears. She realized the fortress she built around her lies had been breached by the one she trusted most. I didn't need to raise my voice. I didn't need violence. The power of knowledge, precise, cold, calculated, it was more devastating than any scream. And I had executed it perfectly. I watched her from the doorway, silent, calm, detached. She would never manipulate me again. Not because I said so, but because she understood she had lost control. I left the room, left her with the envelope, left her with the truth she had buried under lies. I didn't cry, I didn't yell, I didn't forgive. I stepped outside, night air cold against my face. For the first time in months, I felt clarity, control, power. Some truths cannot be unseen. Some betrayals cannot be forgiven. And I walked away, forever changed, stronger, untouchable.
How could you do this?